Today I've been invited to a culinary school.
So we are here in the last week of our course and we are beating the Monday blues with the biryanis.
So we're also making a Bangalore inspired Muslim biryani which you eat in the marriages and all that.
And the Gouda style biryani, the Donne biryani.
Donne biryani.
Popularly known as.
No points for guessing why I'm here.
Here we have two more dishes which are being cooked. This is the typical Bagan ka khatta.
Khatta, began ka
Bagan ka
khatta.
khatta.
That's all the green masala, isn't it? Yes. I love the fresh flavors that are emanating from that biryani pot. What were you doing right here?
I was a program manager.
You were a program manager. And now here you are making kaima unde.
Yes.
I love the flecks of tomato that's interspersed through the biryani.
How's it? The
Delicious. Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Today I've been invited to a culinary school. So many of us are passionate about cooking, but perhaps we are involved in our day-to-day work and we don't find too much time to pursue that passion. When I talk about this passion for cooking, I'm not just talking about referring to recipe books, but a slightly more professional approach. We may perhaps be doctors, IT professionals, vloggers, food writers, or just somebody who's interested in the whole concept of cooking. But there aren't too many avenues where you can go and pursue that passion at a slightly more professional level. That is until now. I'm told this school that I'm visiting, it's called Slurp Studios. As part of the school, they have something called Slurp Culinary Academy. And this academy runs courses for those passionate about cooking, those who want to get a little more professional about cooking. So today I'm going to watch one of their classes, interact with the students, and also savor some of their cooking.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sarabjit. How are you doing?
Good. Welcome to Slurp.
So I'm with Sarabjit, who's one of the co-founders
Yes,
of
yes,
Slurp
yes.
Studio. And I can also spot some of my other friends there. Hi Sushil,
Welcome to Slurp.
thank you very much. Chef Fasi,
Welcome.
thank you for inviting me. Firstly, I like the vibe of your space. Huh? It doesn't seem like a conventional...
Cooking school.
Because the whole idea here also has been to sort of do it yourself. It's been a huge learning process for all of us in terms of, taking classes or decorating the place up or collecting unique cooking vessels or anything which is old, and everything is sort of connected to culinary and food.
We've started another wing under Slurp Studio called the Slurp Culinary Academy.
Okay.
So we've started short-term courses. Most of them after the age group of 25 are working somewhere and they want to learn cooking. So it's for them. The first course is about 6 weeks course. It's very capsuled and we take you through techniques, knife skills, to identification of vegetables, to talking about sustainable food. That's the mantra today, wellness, all of that. And straight away diving into cuisines where we do about 7 cuisines, Italian, Spanish, French, all of that. And then finally at the end we finish off with Indian. So since Indian is so very strong with us, we do a lot of North Indian, South Indian breads, lentils, curries, kebabs. And today we've kept the biryani session for the last, for what Bangalore food is all about. So we're doing 2 kinds of biryanis today. The Bangalore Muslim biryani and the Gouda style biryani, the Donne biryani.
Donne
Popularly
biryani.
known.
No points for guessing why I'm here. Sushil invited me to the cooking studio and I said, what are you cooking? He said, I'm doing the biryani. We're doing the Donne style biryani and we're also doing the Bengaluru biryani. So I said, well, count me in.
And there is the meatball curry, it's called the kaima unde.
The kaima unde saru. That's a very typical Gaudro dish.
And Fuzzy is doing a lamb chops Muslim style.
Oh.
Suki kali mirch ka phal.
Phal is a cut of meat, which is a thin slice of meat. When it comes to suki phal, the meat cut is very, very important. This time I'm doing a very different take on the phal with chili powder and coriander powder and basics masala. It's a very quick dish. And this is the cut which is important for this dish. So we're also making a Bangalore inspired Muslim biryani which you eat in the marriages and all that. Most of the Muslims in Bangalore, the biryani is inspired from Tamil Nadu area, and the Nawab of Arcot was a big influence. So the Bangalore Muslim style of biryani comes The lineage is from Tamil Nadu for us.
We're doing a dosa which is black in color. Black jasmine basmati rice.
Oh.
So it's organic rice which is grown around the Mandya region.
So this is basically the chop.
The chop, it
Okay.
is a single chop. And you see there's a good amount of fat also in it. All the trimmings are intact, no cleaning, and it is usually cooked on a griddle, on a
Okay.
tawa. Flash fried on the tawa. Most of them, the best ones comes from a restaurant which is called Sharifia in the city market area, which serves very good chops. We have chili powder, dhania powder, pepper, salt, ginger garlic paste and turmeric. This is a hand ground garam masala what we make. This is a main speciality. We use it for most of the dishes. It has various spices. It has cinnamon, cardamom, black cardamom, rose petals, nutmeg, mace and a little bit of pepper.
It's a very aromatic garam
Aromatic.
masala. I can smell certainly the nutmeg.
Yes.
The sweet aromas of the nutmeg is what really shines through that. Is there some star anise too in that?
A little bit,
But-
not too much.
but it's
Not
the nutmeg. I can definitely-
Nutmeg and cardamom is over dominant. We use the green as well as the black. Little bit of garam masala to this. Add a little bit oil. थोड़ा तेल डालो इसमें. Sunflower oil we use. Just to bring this together, and then we will marinate the chops and quick fry it on the tawa. I'm using a little bit Kashmiri chili powder because it gives a nice color. On the same time, it adds a little bit body to the masala itself. This is basically a barbecue dish. They make it with like thin strips of meat, but this is a very prime cut of meat what we use, and you usually get it in Bangalore style restaurants, which they make.
Fantastic.
And it's very simple to make and has a lot of flavor.
I think so. This is one of those dishes where it's the ingredient that's very important.
Ingredient and the cut. The
And
cut
the cut.
of lamb is very, very important. If you don't get the cut perfect, the meat won't cook.
Won't
It'll
cook
be
well.
rubbery, and because it's cooked in a flash, it's not cooked. It's just shallow fried on a good thick tawa. Here we have two more dishes which are being cooked. This is the typical baigan ka khatta.
Khatta, baigan ka
Baigan ka
khatta.
khatta. Simmered
Wonderful.
in a nice tomato gravy, and here I have the mutton biryani, which is just simmering.
Oh,
You can smell the aromas.
that's the real reason why I'm here. Huh? That mutton that's getting prepared to go into that mutton biryani.
Starts off with oil, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves. Add the onions and brown it a little bit. Then add some ginger garlic paste, chopped mint, coriander, chili powder, coriander powder, and some green chili and onion paste.
Okay.
Which is a secret of mine, which I add to this.
So do
And
the students get to know the secret?
Yes, definitely. They get to learn. That's the main thing to do, and let our knowledge spread.
I'm smelling more the character of the meat.
Character of
It's not so much the masala that
Masala.
I can also smell a bit of the fat. So this
Especially-
is sheep or goat?
This is sheep.
This is sheep.
So what happens, the carcass is not beyond 8 kilos. And if you see the meat, cut of the meat also, you see big chunks of meat. Probably in a kilo we cut about 15 to 17 pieces max. Just used sarsina, which is the breast. I've used some neck, and I've used chops.
Okay.
That is very important for the biryani. This has a lot of bone texture and adds a lot of flavor to the meat.
I can smell a bit of the freshness perhaps of some. Is there some coriander that's gone into
fresh
it?
chopped coriander and mint, which has been added.
Fantastic.
And we add the tomatoes at the end so that it gets half cooked. We don't want the tomatoes to dissolve into the sauce.
You don't want it to disintegrate completely.
Yes. So that's why if you see the cut of the tomatoes is a little bit chunky. Just quarters of tomatoes. I'll just add it, and I won't cook it. If you see the flame also, what I'm giving is on low heat. I've not even added half a teaspoon of water in this. It is cooking in its own moisture,
Juices.
building in its own juices. Like I've added curds, that's the moisture will help it cook halfway through. Then now we have the tomatoes, that will also help to build the moisture. And probably at the end, I'll add about quarter cup of water just to finish off the meat.
Fantastic.
If you see,
You scored it, huh?
Just scored it
Haan ji.
in between so that it cooks through.
So what is the base for that khatta?
The khatta is basically tomatoes, and some imli ka pani.
Sesame जाता है इसमें?
नहीं, ये अलग.
ये
That
अलग.
is a Hyderabadi.
That's a Hyderabadi style का.
This is only.
This is tomatoes and tamarind.
Tamarind, tomato.
And the color is from the chilies.
Chilies and the tomato. Use the brightest of the tomatoes.
What chili do you use in that?
I use Kashmiri chili powder just to get a color.
So you don't want too much heat?
I don't want too much heat because it will disintegrate the flavor of the biryani. I want it should be very, very subtle.
Needless to say, this is a dish I'm certainly looking forward to try, and it's a dish that brought me here to Slurp Culinary Academy, Slurp Studios. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fasi. So this marination is very important.
Yeah, the marination is, see, if you see what I've used is basic spices. Here we want to also capture the basic flavor of the meat, which is, that is very important for this. If you see, most of the marination is very lightly coated to the meat, and when you put it on the tawa, it will stick to the tawa. Probably about 10 minutes on the tawa.
And how long do you marinate it?
Probably half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
This is a flash dish.
So there's no tenderizer of any sort?
Not required.
There's no papaya, there's no
Nothing,
kachri
nothing,
or...
nothing.
कुछ नहीं है, बस.
No tenderizer at all.
So basically it's a dish that relies primarily on the ingredient.
And the meat.
And the
meat is the main hero
the
of
meat,
this dish.
the
not
hero of the
masala.
dish.
Yes.
Fantastic. Another dish that I'm looking forward to meeting here at Slurp Studios. So Sushil, what's happening here?
So here we are making the Donne biryani,
Okay.
Bangalore style.
That's all the green masala, isn't it? So I love the fresh flavors that are emanating from that biryani pot. In the Muslim style biryani, it was all about the meat. I could smell a bit of the fat, but here I'm smelling the fresh ingredients. The green masala, whether it's the coriander, the mint, some chili also in that?
Yes. My name is Nupur.
Okay.
So we are here in the last week of our course at Slurp Culinary Academy.
Okay.
And we are beating the Monday blues with the biryanis. So here we are making some Donne biryani. I got to know that it's called actually Donne biryani.
Correct.
Because of the leaf that in which the biryani is served. We started with a little bit of oil, some whole spices, garam masala. And
So what are the spices that went into it?
there's cardamom, both black and green, bay leaf, cinnamon, bit of cloves, and a very special ingredient called Marathi mogu.
Kapok buds.
Correct.
Correct. In the beginning I was telling them, don't stress on the recipe. Stress on the cooking techniques. It will take you 15 years to master a biryani.
Correct.
To get to know how much of what, how much of cloves, how much of cinnamon, how much of peppercorns, how much of chilies do I add. It will take some time.
Why are you learning all this?
That's a very nice question. I have always been fond of food and cooking.
Okay.
Because I grew up in a family where both my parents, mom and dad, were in the kitchen.
Okay.
And during COVID, something really nice happened. My mom and I were privileged to be able to serve COVID-affected families. We did over 500 plus COVID meals.
Okay.
And that sort of triggered that food is something I want to pursue my next career innings. I'm just exploring at how I can combine food and the skills that I learned during my early phase of my career.
Fantastic.
And see where it goes.
So you see something brewing in the future in this pot of meat
Absolutely, with a lot of emotions.
with a lot of emotions. Lovely. So that is the Siraga Sambar rice, is it?
Jeera sambar
Jeera sambar rice.
We've soaked it for about an hour.
There's no tuppa that goes in?
Finally, yes.
Ah.
Some tuppa, some lemon juice, and some garam masala powder.
What's heartening is that you're focusing a lot on these traditional flavors. So this is for people at different levels, whether you want to learn to cook better, whether you want to understand food better, whether you want to understand culinary principles, basic knife techniques, or just be able to appreciate food a lot better.
Ingredients.
And do they cook every single day?
Every day.
Oh,
So
okay.
first 1 hour is theory, and after that till about 2:33 they're cooking.
Oh, fantastic.
The 5 did not know how to hold a knife when they came here,
Really?
and today they're at a very different level. So this is the kaima unde. Give me around it.
Fantastic. That's another dish that has my heart. The kaima unde. Oh. Hi Subbu. So you're from the IT industry.
Yeah, I was in the IT industry. So I'm about.
What were you doing in IT?
I was a program manager.
You were a program manager. And now here you are making khaima unde.
These are indigenous varieties of rice which is from Karnataka.
Okay.
This is called the Raktashale rice. So this ups your hemoglobin. So this is called the black jasmine basmati, and this is what we're making the dosa with today. There is a very earthy aroma. Kariga jivalli.
Kariga jivalli.
Kariga jivalli, which is very similar to, it's got a nice fragrance, like the way we cook, when you cook jeera sambar, it gives out a good aroma. So that's what this rice does. Try and incorporate these so that the reason is we want to get this knowledge to the outside world.
Alright.
So that you start eating healthy.
If you see, the rice is just cooked. I've just added one batch of the rice.
हाँ जी.
And I've removed the oil separately.
Oh, वो क्यों निकाला आपने?
ये ऊपर से डालेंगे.
अच्छा अच्छा, तो ऊपर से वो लाल कलर आएगा.
का आएगा क्योंकि idea for the biryani, what people do is they start layering it. ये layer पूरा आधा meat को काट लिया. We remove the meat, half meat, and then add the rice, then add the meat. We should never do that. Garam masala always at the end. Little bit of rice.
Oh, I love the sweetness of the nutmeg that's coming through that. Beautiful.
Mix it a little bit. Just tuck it in. Rice को अंदर खाली इसको ढकेल बस.
अच्छा.
And it should never be like mixed. So this is the only mix what I'm giving to the rice. Now it will just be topping up with the rice. Yeah, the rice is cooked, halfway cooked, and I've salted the water enough. The water should taste like sea water because it's a carb and it'll absorb a lot of this one. Okay, add. Now from here I won't touch the rice. No mixing it, no doing it, nothing. So because I want the steam to rise from below with the flavor of the meat to the top. Add fast. And if you see, the grain is nice. We've used India Gate Classic. Always use the aged rice for this and soak it for about 1 hour is good. So the rice to the meat ratio is, we always say 1 ko sawa. Egg rice,
sawa meat.
Older times it was 1 ko ded. Older days. But as the meat has become expensive now, it has become most of the traditional families who give a lot of importance to cooking is always 1 ko sawa.
1 ko sawa. So that is basically the fat that is infused with all the masala, with all the spices. I can also see some flecks of green in that.
Yeah, this is a chopped coriander and mint.
Lovely.
And if you see how we make in the marriages is man ka hisab. Man is basically 40 kilos of meat, 40 kilos of rice, which will feed about 350 people.
Fantastic.
Biryani. Okay, now we add some little bit of ghee on top.
Some tuppa.
Tuppa. Done. Now we'll close it, put the tight lids and lower the flame for 10 minutes.
Wow. That's a sort of dollop of ghee that I like. Huh? If you ever open a restaurant, I'll be happy to visit. That's the generous hand with which you measure out your tuppa. It's always nice to see tuppa going into food of any form, be it on an idli or in this case a Donne biryani.
For us, it is more about the technique what we want them to learn. How to cook the rice, how to do the dum process.
Fantastic.
Sometimes we also tell them to add spices in the hand so that they get that coordination of, the fingers in the mind.
The kaidu alte.
Kaidu alte.
Taking in all that aroma, हाँ मेरे को तो बहुत जोरों से भूख लगी है सरब जी हाँ
ऐसा लंच खाएंगे हम अलग-अलग फ्लेवर्स आपको मिलेंगे अभी
हाँ जी
and the best part it is student made
and to be honest sometimes when you hear that it's student made you don't know what to think
don't think
right?
just go for the
but
flow.
They say that when you're eating food 70% तो aroma है
Correct.
The aromas I can tell you are bang on so I'm sure so even to the taste, even to the palate, I'm sure that food's going to look very special.
100%.
So tell me, Sarabji, this is a short-term 6-week course.
6 weeks course.
So are there other formats as well that you have here?
Yes, we also run an evening program. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And in a month, they would learn about 50 to 60 trending dishes.
And this is all hands-on.
Completely hands-on. Yeah. Everything in the studio is hands-on, even from making the spices, making the rubs. We're not opening any packet. to make a masala. So
Where can people get to know about these courses that you run?
most of the courses are available on our website. It's available on Instagram.
And what's your website called?
slurpstudio.in.
Slurpstudio.in.
And it's also on our Instagram and Facebook. So all of these digital platforms we have put up our courses, and you could also walk in directly into the studio. We are in 12th Main Indiranagar. Meet us.
Fantastic. So you'll find all the details in the video description below, including their website, their Instagram handles, and also their contact details. As for me,
Yes.
I think it's time to do some
Food, biryani belting.
some batting or belting or eating. The reveal of the biryani.
Bangalore Muslim style biryani.
Bangalore Muslim style biryani.
Yeah. And now there's also a technique when you remove the biryani, you can't just dig in into the center.
Oh, I love the aroma of that biryani.
Yes, perfectly.
Oh, you can see.
I was telling you, the tomatoes should not fully get cooked.
Fantastic.
This will also add a nice flavor to this one, so you can have the first cut.
Oh, I love that. I love the flecks of tomato that's interspersed through the biryani. Pehle to chawal.
Pehle chawal.
I believe always you should taste the rice first, because that rice should convey all that the biryani has to convey. If that it does, then well, the biryani has done its job.
Definitely.
Fussy and all his students here have done that job.
Definitely. How's it? The
Delicious.
The tanginess cuts through the meat.
You know what I love here is the flavor of the meat. You know, lamb, there's an edge of saltiness to it.
Correct.
And that's what you're tasting first, that savory, slightly salty hit of the lamb. I think the tomatoes also add a bit of a sweetish tart
sweet
edge.
tart flavor.
Oh.
And because if you see you've not used many spices, it's just about 3 spices plate. Because the timing of the spices, what you add for the biryani is very, very important.
Busy hai there,
Different
busy hai
levels.
there, it's hot.
I think you should try the meat now.
यार
Busy hai.
busy है, but you know, वो एक निवाले से
दिल भर जाएगा.
दिल नहीं भरा अब तक.
अभी तक नहीं, अभी बाद में भरेगा.
हाँ, so I love that. I love that rice. I love the fact that every grain is separate. It's really hot.
And at the same time, it is cooked. It comes together when you hold that bite.
There's also a bit of chip-chipahut
Because
from
of
the fat.
of the meat and also the cut of the meat what we have used. Because we have used the neck, we have used the shank.
It's got a lovely gelatinous sort of a texture. I think that's a. I think next, let's go for that meat. It's cooked well. It's soft, yet has a bit of a bite.
Yes.
As you chew on it,
It gives
one
a flavor.
chew after the other, one chew after the other,
There's a
it
bite.
releases its flavors. It yields its flavors ever so gently. I love the flecks of fat that's ribboned through
Yes.
that meat.
This will be very different now. Each cut of the biryani will be different. This will melt through you, whatever sticking to the bone.
And this is a sort of biryani that takes me back to a nikah, shadi, a
Yes,
Muslim
yes,
shadi
definitely.
somewhere.
Very minimal. And if you do it on firewood, entire lockdown we did a lot of biryanis on the firewood. We used to sell about 100 biryanis on pre-order.
I don't know what he's saying. Mera
But
dhyan
you're
bas
enjoying
biryani pe
biryani
hai.
pe hai.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
So good.
Thank you.
Well, Fasi has been telling me all about the biryani, but I said I should meet the students who are responsible for this biryani. So
We just followed instructions.
you just followed instructions.
But they were right and it's turned out beautifully.
Every student follows instructions, but those instructions can sometimes take them in different directions. This is a direction of deliciousness. I love this biryani. So is this the first time that you're making it?
Yeah, I've never made it before.
You've never made it before. रोहित कुमार,
आर्मी से हैं,
आप आमिर से हो?
हम आर्मी से आए हैं.
हाँ जी.
रेजिमेंट ने भेजा उनको
हाँ.
ट्रेनिंग के लिए इधर. कौन से रेजिमेंट में थे बोलो?
61 इंजीनियर जम्मू राजौरी में सर.
तो वहाँ से आप यहाँ ट्रेनिंग के लिए आए हो बिरयानी सीखने?
बिरयानी सारा डिश जो इंडियन.
आप जब जाओगे वापस सोल्जर्स बहुत they'll be very happy. Thank you firstly for your service and also to your regiment. But I'm sure the soldiers when you go back बहुत खुश होंगे यार. Fantastic, delicious. Congratulations on this biryani. I'm sure we'll taste a lot more food as we
Definitely,
go
have
along.
lots more food. Next is the lamb chops. What
The
will
lamb
be-
chop.
Yes.
We're going to watch the making of the lamb chop.
Definitely.
haven't tasted something like this ever.
Really? So do you guys taste your cooking every day?
We cook and
We cook and
we sit around the
eat
table.
what we
Yeah? I think I should make friends with you guys. So every day around lunchtime, just give me a call. I'll come and taste what you guys have made. Fantastic. कैसा है? उंदा है? बहुत बढ़िया. आपने बनाया है तो बढ़िया तो बोलोगे. How's it, Shifa? You know, I can smell some of that masala. I can smell a bit of the garlic aroma.
Garlic, little of chili also.
So what's happening here, Sushil?
So here's the black jasmine basmati dosa that I was talking about.
Black jasmine basmati
So
dosa.
you can see this is natural color. Nothing has been added. This is the natural color of the rice.